Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the National Hockey Now Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by National Hockey Now. Thursday, February 23rd. Ian Cameron and Alex B. Smith with you. We've survived the winter storm. The lights are still on. The power is still on. So we do indeed still have a show today, which is great to have one on a day like this with 10 games on the Thursday slate. A massive slate. Looking forward to breaking it down. We do want to mention we have posted the long-awaited local TV broadcaster rankings video that Alex and I did, and shout out to Alex for sitting through 2 hours of it with me when we recorded it. But it is up on patreon.com/iceguys exclusively for our Patreon page subscribers and members with just $10 a month to check that out and all the other great content that we have posted daily at patreon.com/iceguys. We had a lot of fun with that. I'm a big media junkie, so it was a lot of fun to talk about the rankings of the 32 NHL local TV broadcast teams. So that was fun. Check it out, patreon.com/iceguys. Alex, just briefly, we got a huge card, so we're going to be very brief looking back at last night, but very quickly, credit to the New York Islanders finding a way. Good goaltending duel with Sorokin and Hellebuck as expected. The game stayed under the total, and the Islanders pick up the victory there. The two late games, it was looking like Calgary was going to do this shit again. Find a way to dominate a team, outplay a team, and lose. And it was looking a bit leery for them at 3-1 Arizona. But finally the floodgates opened. The roof caved in. Calgary was just peppering poor Karel Vejmelka all night with shots. I don't know if I'll have an easier goalie saves prop winner than Karel Vejmelka last night. I mean, over 32.5 saves with plenty of room to spare in that game. Calgary comes back, gets the victory. The goals explode for them late in the second half of the game, late second and into the third. They end up winning comfortably 6-3 at the end of the night. Best bet winner for me as well, Calgary, Arizona over the total. So I was very happy to see that. And how about Chicago and Dallas? Wow. The Dallas Stars have problems, people. That was one of those losses where if you weren't a little concerned before, you're a lot more concerned now after that. I mean, that's a Chicago team that was winless on a back-to-back this year. You had them down and out, up 3-0 at one point on home ice with the rest advantage, too. They had been off for 3 days, and Dallas somehow blows that lead, gives up 4 unanswered goals, and falls 4-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks. It's a horrendous loss for the Dallas Stars last night, given the massive scheduling advantage they had in their favor. But let's give Chicago a little credit because it became, and it's now at the point now where it's almost a shame they're going to be split up with Kane likely to get traded. The chemistry with him and Max Domi, it is absolutely sensational right now. It was the Max Domi, Patrick Kane show for the second half of that hockey game last night. Just an incredible job by both of them, turning pucks over, turning it into offense, great vision, playmaking, awareness of where each other is on the ice to make those plays. Just outstanding stuff from both Domi and Kane last night. The catalysts to a comeback 4-3 win for the Chicago Blackhawks. And we said, don't lay it with the Dallas Stars yesterday on the show. And the Chicago, I wish I had gone with Chicago in money line and regulation like some people did, where you were really bold, whereas plus 380, almost 400 on the money line. I was seeing plus 575 on Chicago in regulation. I was a little more conservative. You know, my Chicago or draw at plus 200, you know, doesn't look quite as appealing, but I'll take it still. It's a plus 200 winner there with that Blackhawks draw double chance that we mentioned on yesterday's show. But Alex, thoughts on the Wednesday night slate?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who watched the show over the years, you know I wear a lot of jerseys, and it's rare for me to wear back-to-back the same jersey on the same day. But I had to do it because Patrick Kane was absolutely magnificent. And he put on a showcase. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last 15 years, and maybe some of you have, and you haven't seen the magic that is Sir Patrick Kane, he put it on display last night on national TV and in front of every scout and every team that's looking to pick him up. Not only did he score 2 goals, not only did he have the assist on Domi's goal, but Domi's second goal, where Domi looks him off and scores. I mean, that's all Kane, he doesn't pull that off with anybody else skating 2-on-1 in that Hawks lineup. So Kane basically essentially created all 4 goals. Of course, he had the goal taken back. That would have been the buzzer beater the night before against Vegas. This guy's offensive production right now in the last 3-4 games has been sensational. And he shows why he's an asset to this Hawks franchise, but also to any franchise that is looking to pick him up before March 3rd.
No doubt about that. He's been great. I think he was starting to get a little pissed off with people saying, "Oh, he's injured. He doesn't look like right. He doesn't look like he's all that excited to go to the ice every night and play games for Chicago this year with everything that's gone on." Well, he's put that crowd on silent with the last several games for sure. Yeah, clearly he can still play. You get him in a situation where you get him fired up and riled up, and you get that adrenaline pumping again. And of course, he's a little healthier now. That does help as well. We're still seeing Patrick Kane has a few things still in the tank.
Yeah. And if I'm Kyle Davidson, instead of making all these weird trades, getting more draft picks, getting Nikita Zaitsev, and I can't remember who the hell they picked up about maybe an hour and a half ago. I would be trying to extend Max Domi. I think he deserves that. He needs at least 3 years, something, of course, club friendly. Keep him around, because you keep him around, you do end up trading Kane. Hopefully you end up getting the number 1 pick. Who's to say Kane will not turn around and sign right back with the Hawks? No. And you have that chemistry with Domi and Kane, and hopefully you land the number 1 pick and get Connor Bedard. Who's stopping that line? If Kane, and this is the thing, we've seen this with Kane how many times? We've seen it with DeBrincat. We saw it with Panarin. He makes guys around him better. So if you have a good veteran 1-2 tandem that works together already with Kane and Domi, and then you bring Connor Bedard into that system, because obviously everybody's going to be gunning for Bedard wherever he lands. You want to have a good core around him where he's not the focal point. You don't want him on Arizona where he's the only offensive option. You want him to be somewhere halfway decent where at least he has a line mate, if not 2, if not a top 6 group around him that can build upon. And so I honestly think, with the Hawks, it seems like Kane's going to get moved, but I would not rule out the fact of Kane probably just saying, hey, this is just a short-term thing, run through the playoffs, and might turn right back, come back to the West Side come October.
Yeah, that's true. It might just be a rental, play the rest of the season wherever you get dealt, and come on back, especially if they land a certain Connor Bedard. You don't think people will want to play with Connor Bedard, in the NHL, and that won't intrigue people to sign with whoever lands him in the draft this upcoming spring. So definitely some salient points right there in terms of what might happen down the road. But overall, really a pretty good night betting wise. The props for me that I mentioned from the Jets Islanders game, they all fell short. That was a disappointing result with a lot of those props in that game. But boy, we made up for it in the other games. We got a lot of the point props with Dubé, and Hannafin's point prop came through for us as well. I mentioned that, but Backlund to get a point, Backlund shots on goal. I said, load up on the Calgary Flames shots on goal, and Toffoli and Backlund and Mangiapane, they all went over their shots on goal prop last night. It was a good bet there. The Chicago props were very good. Kane goal, Kane point, Domi assist, which was plus 180, Max Domi assist last night against Dallas. So the props in those 2 games were good. The Jets game, not so much. So we'll take it. On we go to Thursday. We've got 10 games, and we will begin with Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 230, home favorites, 7 the total here in this one between these 2 teams. Buffalo, not a good performance here off the road trip on the West Coast through LA, Anaheim, San Jose, where they actually won 2 of the 3. They come back home, and they were down 4-0 and pretty much out of it after the first period. But they did have a good third period. They didn't roll over. Made it interesting. They got it to 5-3, but it was the Ryan O'Reilly show on Wednesday night or Tuesday night rather, and the Leafs got the 6-3 win over Buffalo. Just a horrible start. I mean, just defensively, lapses galore, horrible puck management, not the greatest goaltending from UPL either. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net for the Sabres had a rough night. We'll see how things go here against Tampa Bay. Eric Comrie it's been rotating. It's been musical chairs for Don Granato with the Buffalo Sabres goaltenders lately. One night it's Anderson, the old man. One night it's UPL. One night it's Eric Comrie. It's Eric Comrie night tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. He'll get the start in goal for them. He's won his last 2 starts, and you know what? You can make a case he's been the best goalie in the last few starts at least. 38 of 43 shots in the last 2 outings. So he's played pretty well. We'll see if Buffalo's going to have to be a whole lot better with the puck and managing it better. If they're going to hope to hang here with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who enter this game off a 6-1 beatdown over the Anaheim Ducks on Tuesday night. Took a while for the offense to get going, but once it did, there was no stopping it. The Tampa Bay Lightning, of course, ending that road trip with the 2 losses to Vegas and Arizona, and they bounced back strong in the last game. Tampa Bay has won, I believe, 5 straight here hosting the Buffalo Sabres. So this has not been a great place in terms of the Sabres. They have not done well here in Tampa. The over 6-1-1 in the last 8 meetings. I definitely am interested in the over, but only at 6.5. And I'm going to try to wait for a live bet. I mean, you got to start doing that now that we're finally seeing 7s, in some of these games. So I'm going to do the old Alex B. Smith, Ice Guys recommendation here. Wait live, see if we find a 6.5 here. That's the way I'm going to approach it. I don't really. Buffalo, we talked about this road dog role where they've played their best hockey against these better teams, and they've been very good. Like, they got road wins at Boston, Vegas, Colorado, among others on their resume. Edmonton, Calgary. They've been excellent road dogs. I'm tempted by Buffalo, but boy, I don't know. Tampa Bay, I don't know if Tampa Bay just says, we lost 2 on the road, we beat Anaheim, we're satisfied. I think Tampa Bay wants to get their game going. They know that they're right there neck and neck with Toronto for second in the Atlantic, which gives you home ice in the first round. And Buffalo's had no recent success here in Tampa either. We have to admit that. They've lost 5 straight meetings here at Amalie Arena. So I'm probably just going to stick to the over in this one and look for a live over at 6.5. What do you think here with this one, Alex? Sabres, Lightning.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the first period. Over 2 at even money. We've seen 12-4 into the first period over the last 16 meetings between these two teams. There's always high scoring. And like I said, with Eric Comrie, he has won his last 2 starts. He's been the better of the 3, but that's not saying much. These are 3 goalies that all have been struggling in their own right. I think, Comrie can be figured out by this Tampa Bay offense. There's no value in looking at the team total over. So I'm going to probably look for a live over full game. Like I said, that should drop to 6.5 almost instantly. Wait for hopefully a 5.5 to lay a price. But definitely going with the over 2 at even money. I think we definitely get at least 3 goals here in the first period.
All right, definitely good stuff. In terms of the shots on goal props, Victor Hedman had 4 the other night against Anaheim. I think Victor Hedman over shots on goal is a good look for the Lightning in this one. As far as the other props that I'm looking at here for Buffalo, Tampa Bay, in 7 of the last 10 games, Braden Point has a point. Thompson has a point. You could do some. Now, you don't want to bet these solo because you're obviously laying big numbers with both, players like Braden Point to get a point, minus 200 or so. Same thing with Tage Thompson. I mean, you got to do the same game parlay stuff with these guys, but I think that's a good look. Thompson didn't play well against Toronto, and he admitted it after the game. He said, "I didn't have one of my worst games I've had in a while." I agree. You couldn't really find Tage Thompson. I couldn't believe it. You really couldn't find him in that game against the Leafs. He was very quiet. So I think he plays a lot better here. I think Thompson and a 2-player parlay of Thompson to get a point, Braden Point to get a point, and you'll turn that into an even money or plus price bet. I think that's not a bad option here. For this game. Other props you could look at, because I do think we'll eventually see goals. Now, Alex Tuch to get a point. He's gotten a point in 7 of the last 10 games, minus 140, a little more reasonable. You could bet that straight, as far as Alex Tuch to get a point going into this game here tonight. Dahlin over shots on goal for Buffalo. He's gone over 7 of the last 10. I mentioned Hedman over shots on goal 7 of his last 10 games. For the Tampa Bay Lightning. So all good options there. Nikita Kucherov. Hagel.
Jacob Houston mentioned that in the chat. Over 2.5 shots.
Jacob Houston. Yeah, not a bad option there to score a goal. We always say how good of a season he's had. Nikita Kucherov's on an assist streak, but again, it's a big price, so you could throw that in the SGP as well, actually, with Thompson Point and Braden Point to get a point as well. So it's definitely some decent looking props here for sure when it comes to Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Again, we're really focusing on the players that are in really good form. Skinner, he's got a 3-game point streak. Dahlin is on a 3-game point streak. Tuch is on a 3-game goal streak, 3 games with an assist as well. Dahlin, 3 games with an assist as well. So again, Dahlin assist is minus 140. That's not bad. Tuch to score a goal. Like I said, he scored in 3 straight games, plus 200. Tuch to get a point, like I said, is minus 142. Not bad. reasonable prices. Tuck assist in 3 straight games. Tuck assist is plus 150. Now that's the value right there. 3 straight games with an assist with an apple for Alex Tuck. So some good player props there for Buffalo and Tampa Bay right there, if you ask me in this one. And Dylan Cousins, of course, it goes without saying. Every Buffalo game lately, it's been Dylan to score a goal and to get a point. And I think definitely you could look in those directions here. It's always more trickier when you're playing Tampa Bay, and you never know if you're going to get Stonewall version of Vasilevsky, but he is plus 300, Cousins to score a goal, and even money to get a point here tonight. All right, LA Kings, New Jersey Devils. We've got New Jersey minus 145, home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. Both teams are going to likely come into this game with a point to prove, right? Neither one's going to be happy. LA lost to Minnesota 2-1. Offense got shut down. New Jersey got just humbled by Montreal. That AHL roster essentially is what Montreal has. It's the Laval Canadiens or the Laval Rocket, whatever you want to call it. But definitely New Jersey was not good in that game. So you think they want to play well here in this game tonight against the LA Kings. I still lean LA. I mean, to me, the New Jersey at home is still dicey, and they showed you that against Montreal. They've been better on the road. The Kings, that was a rare game where they've been shut down. The Devils are certainly going to want to play better too. I think you got 2 motivated teams, but I kind of like LA here plus 125 in this game. Copley in net for the Kings, Vanacek in net for the New Jersey Devils. I kind of think this is a game that both teams are going to look to get going offensively, because New Jersey gets shut down and only scores 2 goals in their last game in LA with only the 1 goal against Minnesota. You would think they'll be looking to have better results. And these 2 teams did play over the total in LA earlier this year. So the over 6.5, I'll probably get in on that for a smaller bet. I don't love it, but I'll get in a little bit on over 6.5 and a little bit on LA here, plus 125. I just think the Devils have had a great season, but I don't think with the lack of consistent success they've had on home ice, and with sometimes their defensive play, it can come and go at times. We saw that against Montreal. I don't think it's the worst idea to look at LA plus 125 against a Devils team that has had some issues here on home ice. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Kings, Devils.
Yeah, I lean with the Kings plus price, but I like the draw here a bit more. I grabbed it at plus 345. We've seen these 2 teams kind of cool off in the draw department. They had been playing a lot of OTs, but a lot of games have been sorted out in regulation. But with the Kings, we see back-to-back. They had a game. They went to the shootout. Then they 2-1 game. It really should have gone to OT. Honestly, the pace of play seemed like it was overtime for about 40 minutes when they were playing against Minnesota. So now we're at this spot against a New Jersey team that, like I said, plays a lot of tight games as well, too. And like I said, been struggling at home. I can see this one definitely going past 60 minutes. Probably more of a 2-2 game going past 60. So I would lean to the under just slightly.
All right, we got one of the best shots on goal prop bets, I think, of the entire card tonight is in this game based on recent results and current form. Adrian Kempe, LA Kings, over shots on goal 9 of the last 10 games, and he actually enters this game tonight 8 straight games over 2.5 shots on goal for Adrian Kempe of the LA Kings. And do you know what the shot prop for him tonight is? It's over 2.5 minus 115. That's all it is. It's just minus 115 to get 3 shots. And he's done that in 8 consecutive games for the Los Angeles Kings and 9 of the last 10. So you talk about that kind of percentage and that kind of form on your side for that bet. And it's only minus 115. So it's one of the best shots on goal prop bets of the night, in my opinion. Him to get a point is only minus 116 or so at Cool Bet, among other places. Kempe has a point in 7 of the last 10 games for the LA Kings as well. So I definitely like that bet here in this game. Him to get a point, which is, like I said, minus 120. If you go and look at Kopitar, he actually was the guy that scored their only goal against Minnesota. He's only minus 125 to get a point. I think Kempe to score a goal, too, at plus 200. We're going to get in on that because it was a quiet night for his perspective the other night. So there's some good props there. Kopitar, Kempe, Fiala, he's gone over his shots on goal 3 straight games. So a little shorter term streak with him when it comes to the over shots prop, but he's starting to shoot it more. It's only $1.25 for Kevin Fiala, over 2.5 shots on goal. So there's definitely some good Kings props, good Devils props too, actually in this game. Jack Hughes has gone over his shots on goal 8 of the last 10, even though his shots on goal number is usually 3.5 or 4.5. Still been going over that, which has been good to see. Kevin Fiala, 7 of the last 10 actually have gone. He's gotten a point for the LA Kings as well. And my favorite Devil prop again tonight, you know what it's going to be. I just want to make sure the lines haven't been adjusted by Lindy Ruff. But no, even after the loss to Montreal, it's still a top-line unit with Tomas Tatar, Nico Hischier, and Dawson Mercer. We've talked about Dawson Mercer the last couple of games here for the New Jersey Devils and what he has been doing for this hockey team. And again, with Mercer right now, he has been getting instant offensive production for this team ever since going onto that top line. He's gotten a point in 4 straight games and a goal in 4 straight games for the New Jersey Devils. So we're back to the well tonight with Dawson Mercer, plus 325 to score a goal, and just to get a point, plus 115. And he's gotten a goal and a point in 4 straight games for the New Jersey Devils. So really good prop game again. And again, props now that we're really diving in head first to them. Very advantageous, very opportunity laden. And I think we have that here tonight with the Kings and the Devils. All right, Minnesota, Columbus. We've got Minnesota minus 180, road favorites, 6 the total here in this game tonight. Minnesota, this is the front end of a back-to-back for the Minnesota Wild. They are in Toronto tomorrow night to take on the Leafs. A rare Friday night home game for the Leafs. I don't know what's up with that, but they're actually playing Friday, Toronto, and not Saturday. Kind of weird, but nevertheless, it is what it is. Minnesota's in Toronto tomorrow night. They're in Columbus tonight. So with it being a back-to-back, you obviously have to get Marc-Andre Fleury in there at some point, even though Gustafsson has been outstanding the last few starts and really helped Minnesota get out of this little funk they've been in, because they're still not lighting up the score sheet, Alex, or scoreboard. You know, a lot of it has just been the defense and the goaltending of Gustafsson's been so good they've been able to win. And that's what we've seen. But it will be Marc-Andre Fleury tonight in goal for the Minnesota Wild. He needs a good start, Alex. He really does, because as we're seeing, Dean Evason is gravitating more and more and more toward the Swede, Philip Gustafsson in net. So Fleury needs to come out there and put a good performance on the board. If he wants to get consistent starts and maybe get back into a situation where he's alternating starts with Gustafsson and not just relegated to being a guy that only gets in there on a back-to-back, then he's got to put up a good showing tonight in net for the Wild. That's all there is to it, because I think he understands that, you know, he's kind of losing his net a little bit here to Philip Gustafsson. But this Columbus team, I'm telling you what, they are playing hard. They're playing feisty. They've got a goaltender that is in piping hot form right now. And I never would have thought that about Jonas Korpisalo, but he has played excellent here for the last several outings. And he, of course, will be the starting goaltender once again tonight for the Blue Jackets. I mean, look at the way he's played. He's been very good. He's notched back-to-back wins against the Jets and the Stars, 2 teams that are 1-2 in the Central Division right now. And he beats both of them with terrific performances, giving up just 2 goals in those 2 games combined. This is one of those spots where Minnesota laying this road price is of zero interest to me, even though they have won a couple games in a row. This might be one of those Columbus and draw looks for me, kind of like what I did last night, Alex, with Chicago. This feels like a tight game. I don't see Minnesota rolling into Columbus and romping this Columbus team. I just don't see it. I think it's a tight game. I think it's a pretty competitive game. I could see Minnesota in overtime or a shootout, because the one thing I will say about Minnesota lately is that they have been very good in overtimes and shootouts. They've been winning some of those games lately beyond regulation. So for a little added security, I think that is the better way to go here if you like Columbus a little bit, rather than just the money line. Be a little safe, be a little secure. It's minus 130 for Columbus or draw in this game. I think that's not a bad option whatsoever. Good point there from Perlo about Brodin. Injured again and on IR again for the Minnesota Wild. And my first thought with him is they're much worse in the defensive zone without him. No question about that. We'll see how they fare. But the last time they missed him dearly. And obviously him being on IR again, not a good thing for the Minnesota Wild. So for me, I'm going to go Columbus or draw, minus 130. A little on that, and I'll just do a little smaller sprinkle on the straight money line on Columbus too at plus 160. But again, more on the Columbus or draw, because I get that sense it still could be like Wild in overtime or a shootout, which wouldn't totally surprise me either. What do you think here, Alex? Minnesota, Columbus.
So it's funny. We're doing the exact same thing that we did with yesterday with Dallas and Chicago, because I like Columbus or draw, but I also like more on the draw of this game. So plus
and you almost got
340.
that damn draw yesterday. That video review, I almost got in on Stauber there to make it 4-4.
These buzzer beaters are crazy with the Hawks right now. Two games in a row.
At the end. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I like this draw here. Like I said, I mean, Minnesota with the draw, like even if you're playing just $10 a game, it's worth sprinkling on these teams when they start streaking on the draw. Minnesota's no different. They're a team that could have easily played 12 straight draws. The way that some of these games have shaped out, they've been completely tight competitive games. And Columbus, like you said, I should be able to take advantage of the fact that blue line for Minnesota is a bit beaten down with no Brodin, and this could be one of those games. If this was a healthy Wild team, I'd say they probably find a way to win and maybe look to play in a regulation. But with this team banged up and Fleury still just being inconsistent, I think this could easily be an overtime game, and Columbus could be live to win it.
All right, good stuff. And yes, props on this game. This is another game where we've got good. Eric Sinek, I'm not jumping ship. Yeah, he finally stayed under his shots on goal prop last game. But the one thing about Columbus, and even though Korpisalo has played well for them the last couple, like he's led them to victories against teams that are going to be in the playoffs, the Jets and the Stars. I mean, he played extremely well, but he's still facing a lot of shots. Okay, you look at the shots against in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his last 7 starts, he's faced at least 30 shots. 49, 36, 34, 34, 41, 38. Even though I kind of like Columbus in this game, and I do Columbus or draw, Korpisalo over saves, because of just the shot volume that the Columbus Blue Jackets are allowing lately. So, Korpisalo over saves could be a decent goalie save prop if you're going to go in that direction. And I like the one on Vejmelka last night, and we nailed that one. So maybe we'll get another one here with Korpisalo, but I definitely think he could go over his saves prop here tonight in this game. But some other props here when you look at it, I'm coming back to Eric Sinek over shots on goal. I know, again, he finally stayed under, but I'm going to go back to it. He's still been just automatic, in terms of the shots on goal. 8 of the last 10 games, he's gone over 2.5 shots. He's actually collected a point as well in 7 of the last 10 games. I don't think the price is going to be too great on that. No, at minus 165. So you pretty much got to do SGP with Eric Sinek to get a point if you're going to bet it. Put it in a same-game parlay of some kind, mix it in with some other stuff. What else have we got here? Oh, here's one that's a little off the radar here. Adam Boqvist for the Columbus Blue Jackets going into this game. And based on the form, it might be worth a look here. Point in 7 of the last 10 games for the Jackets. And he's plus 150 to get a point tonight for the Jackets. Keep that in mind. And if you actually look at the way Boqvist's minutes, they've gone up for the Jackets of late. There's no question. So 7 of the last 10 games, he has had a point for them. So keep an eye on that. That might be something to put a few bucks on here tonight as well. Zuccarello assists 7 of the last 10 games. Let me just make sure what the price is on that, because if it's too expensive, what I do is I'll do a separate little SGP and put it in that. If the percentages add up, but the price is it's a little too expensive. Minus 175 for Zook assists. So I would put that in an SGP if I were to bet that tonight in this game. What else have we got here? I'm just checking here. But yeah, Eric Sinek. Oh, Ryan Hartman. Ryan Hartman is one of the guys that's really starting to get going. He's a streaky guy. He's a streaky player. But Ryan Hartman, is right now starting to really get things revved up here for the Minnesota Wild. He's gotten 3 goals and 4 points in the last 2 games. So whether it's goal prop, point prop, assist prop, shots on goal over, I think it's anything Ryan Hartman here for the Minnesota Wild. He's a streaky player. He's on the good side of the streak right now. So again, Ryan Hartman, anytime goal scorer, Ryan Hartman point, assist, and over shots on goal. Over shots on goal with Hartman's only plus 100. So it's a great number there, great price. To get a point, even money, minus 105. To get a goal is upwards of plus 250 for Hartman in this game tonight. So some good options there because he's heating up at the right time, because for the longest time it was Zuccarello, Kaprizov, and Eric Sinek. Nobody else scored for Minnesota. But Hartman has finally given them some supplementary offense, and not a moment too soon, obviously, for the Minnesota Wild. either. What else? I'm just going to see if I missed on anything here tonight. I don't believe so for as far as the props are concerned. Yeah, that's about it. Eriksson, Ek, and Hartman, shots on goal props. And like I said, all those points props I mentioned, including that sprinkle on Boquist. Hey, why not? Defenseman for the Jackets, 7 of the last 10. He's gotten a point, and you can bet it at plus 150. Hey, you can make worse bets than that, in my opinion. All right, next up, we've got not Detroit and Washington. That was the other night. But it is, it's not Washington. Washington's the next game. Next game up is Edmonton and Pittsburgh. This is an interesting matchup here. We've got even money here, both sides, and the total 7 pretty much across the board here with the Oilers and the Penguins. I'll admit it's difficult to bet this one under the total with what we've seen from Edmonton. But once again, I'm going to wait, see if I get 6.5. Edmonton finally did stay under the total in their last game. It was a 4-2 win over the Philadelphia Flyers. But I would still lean to this over, but I'm going to wait for 6.5 to show up live rather than bet 7 pregame. The Penguins, I'll tell you what, the Penguins are shooting the puck a shit ton here. 44, 31, 46 shots on goal in 3 straight games. The Oilers can still give up shots. If you're, again, interested in goalie saves, this might be one of those nights where maybe you look at Skinner for the Edmonton Oilers over his saves prop. Might be something to consider here tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. It is confirmed, by the way, Skinner in net for the Oilers. Tristan Jarry, of course, back in net for Pittsburgh. It was kind of a weird game for him the other night against the New York Islanders, where he played very well early, and I think he hit a physical wall in the third period. Mike Sullivan kind of alluded to that. He hadn't started in a very long time, and it almost looked like he ran out of gas in the third period. A couple of those goals maybe he should have stopped, and it ended up going right through him. So maybe we'll see if he's a little bit steadier now, second start, since returning from that lengthy injury absence for Tristan Jarry. Right now, Pittsburgh, trying to find wins. They've lost 3 in a row. Edmonton lost 4 in a row, but they got off the schneid and got that much-needed win against Philadelphia in their last game. 17-11 they are. I definitely lean Edmonton here. I haven't made up my mind, though, on whether I'm going to take them tonight. It feels like for Pittsburgh, desperate times, desperate measures for them. They need a win badly, but I can't back them. I'd prefer Edmonton in this game. I'm lukewarm on the Oilers, but if I were to bet the side, I'd look Edmonton minus 110. This is going to be more and live over for me if I get a 6.5. I think Crosby, again, has been a constant here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Even during these recent losses, he's played well. He's made things happen. And I think if the Penguins are going to win tonight, he's going to want to play. I think he's going to want to play good because he's going to hear all day today when the media is in their scrum, they're going to say, "Oh, Connor McDavid's in town. What do you think, McDavid and Crosby?" You always, when you got a guy like that on the other side, you want to play well and show that, hey, McDavid may be the next the best player in this sport for the next 10, 15 years, long after I retire, but I've still got something in the tank. I think that's the mindset Crosby has on a night like tonight. So I like over shots on goal for him, minus 150. To get an assist continues to be dirt cheap. It's minus 114 for Crosby to get an assist. I mean, to me, I'm going to continue to look at that prop over and over again. It's just way too cheap, I think, especially with the way he's playing right now. He's gotten an assist. He's got an assist in 8 of the last 10 games for the Penguins. 7 of the last 10, Crosby's gone over. Shots on goal as well. The Nuge, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, an assist in 7 of the last 10 games. That's a little well priced, though, minus 165. So I would bet that in a same game parlay if I were to get involved with that. Ricard Raquel with a point in 4 straight games. Tyson Barrie for the Oilers with a point in 4 straight games. And Tyson Barrie point prop going into tonight is plus 112, plus 110. A plus price with Barrie to get a point, which is excellent. Ricard Raquel on that 4-game point streak for the Pittsburgh Penguins going into tonight. His point prop, let me just check, see what it is. Yeah, it's a little pricey, minus 180. Again, what I would do is maybe do a point prop or a point parlay of Raquel and an assist parlay with the Nuge. All of a sudden, you get these prices of minus 180. You compress them, you get a plus price with that. I might be looking to do that with those two guys. What do you think here in this one? Obviously, a pretty good game. It's always a marquee matchup, heavily hyped when they talk about it. It's not McDavid versus Crosby. like the media will bloviate about all day today. It's Oilers versus Penguins. Let's remember that. Alex, what do you think? Edmonton, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I'm sure Crosby won't get too rattled by it because he's dealt with it the last, 15, 16 years of
All those
Crosby
times
versus
playing
Ovechkin.
Washington, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just the same old hat for him. I don't think he takes it, one way or the other. But I like Edmonton in this spot. Like I said, it's desperate times for Pittsburgh right now, but that doesn't mean that we're going to just jump in and back them. I like the momentum that Edmonton had coming from that comeback win, which we all cashed thanks to John Massey on the live bet cast Tuesday night. I think they can bring that over, get off to a hot start, and take care of business here. So I laid $1.05, but I still like it at $1.10 going with Edmonton.
Yeah, there's some real truth to that. Edmonton, was reeling. They had the third period comeback against the Flyers, and that propels them here against the Pittsburgh Penguins here in this game. So yeah, definitely, yeah. That had not one person on Pittsburgh, and that can sometimes be scary. But I'm telling you what, they're in one of those Calgary ruts right now, where they're outplaying the opponent. Their overall advanced numbers look good. Like they're taking the play to the opponent in a lot of these games. The two Islander games, they outplayed the Islanders, but they lost. The New Jersey game, New Jersey was better. Like they deserved to lose that. But you could argue they should have won both Islander games. They played well enough. They had all kinds of shots, all kinds of chances in that game, and Sorokin was incredible. Is Skinner capable of doing that tonight if Pittsburgh's going to fire that much rubber? So I understand that. Pittsburgh's probably deserved better results, especially in those two Islander games. But the bottom line is it's a results-oriented business. They're not getting the results right now. And with all due respect to the Islanders, the Oilers are a little bit better team than the Islanders. So I think it's a tough one. Like I said, I'm with Alex. If I were to play the side, I'd look at Edmonton here. All right, next up, we've got Anaheim taking on Washington. The return of Alex Ovechkin. It will be tonight. We've been waiting to see when he'd rejoin the team, and he did rejoin the team for practice on Wednesday, and now will make his return following his time in Russia, obviously tending to the passing of his dad, Mikhail, and now he's back here with the Capitals. Minus 320 home favorites, 6 the total in this game. For me, Alex, in this game, it's going to be two bets. I'm going to go Capitals first period puck line and over 3.5 Capitals team total. I think tonight, look, I still think this team is going zip. I honestly think they're still going to be in tough to make the playoffs, but this team has been crying out for the return of their captain, the return of their leader. They're going to get it tonight. They've got this pathetic team coming into their building, the Anaheim Ducks. It's absolutely, I think, a spot where Washington can jump on them early. I've been fading Washington a lot. Of course, Detroit, I took them the other night. Carolina a couple of times when they played the Capitals last week. I was on Carolina in both games. So I've been fading Washington. To me, this is the spot to get back on the Washington Capitals here. The emotion, I think everybody, knows what Alex has gone through here the last week or two. Very close with his dad. I'm sure the players, especially the ones that have been around the Capitals for a long time, Backstrom, Oshie, John Carlson, even though he's injured right now, Wilson, I'm sure they've interacted with Alex's pops at some point. I think at some point they probably interacted with him at some point. So I'm sure they all just band together for number 8 tonight in this game. And you're playing a pathetic hockey team at the other side. That's part of the handicap too. I mean, you're playing just a rancid Anaheim Ducks team right now at this point in time. As far as the Ducks go, we don't know who's in net. It is Charlie Lindgren for Washington. I don't mind Charlie Lindgren in net at all. Not one bit. I think it's a situation where he can go in and play decent for one game. It's not like Kemper's been good the last couple. He's had some bumps. I think he could have played a little bit better in a couple of these recent starts he's had. So Lindgren being in net doesn't really bother me too much here. I think it's just one of those spots where you get the Capitals rising up. They need a win in the worst way. I think the return of Ovechkin lifts the entire team spirit for them going taking to the ice tonight against this Anaheim Ducks team. So I'm going to go with Washington minus a half, plus 112 first period, plus 112, plus 110. It's in that range. Capitals team total in this game, which is over 3.5, minus 154 at Pinnacle. You're laying a little juice, but sometimes it's juice worth laying. And I think it is in this case, over 3.5. And I'm going to go with the full game over as well, over 6, minus 120 in this game, because I think the Capitals will get 4 minimum, maybe even 5. They're very capable of doing that against this horrendous defensive unit that is the Ducks. But the Ducks could chip in every now and then because Lindgren's not exactly Mr. Shutout. I don't think of Charlie Lindgren as how he's going to come in there and get a shutout. No, I think Anaheim could get a couple of goals. Washington could get 4 or 5, and there's a push at worst, and more than likely still the overhitting if that ends up coming to fruition. So 3 bets here. Washington first period puck line, Washington team total over 3.5, and full game over 6. What do you think here, Alex? Ducks, Capitals.
So I actually played a small same game parlay over at Bet Online plus 220. I got Ovechkin to score at least 1 goal and Washington to win the first period. So I was surprised that was actually a plus price. I thought I was actually going to have to probably lay like $1.10, but to combine those two. But I think Ovechkin, and I mean, of all the goals he scored, the next goal he scores will probably be one of the most emotional, obviously, with the passing of his father, and that's something that I obviously could resonate with. I'm sure a lot of us can, and it's just a tough thing, and to have him in this corner, you could tell like I said, they were really close, and coming up on this record now, and he won't be able to get to see it. That's just a really unfortunate thing. But I think this is a close-knit group, and he's obviously the leader of this group, and those veterans, that core group that's been around them, the Tom Wilsons and the Kuznetsovs, those guys, they'll be rallying around. I think they're going to play a solid game here. So I would lean toward Washington team total as well. I probably will try to grab an in game. I think we might be able to wait around and let that drop a little bit. And I usually don't do that for team totals too often because sometimes they're not available for me. Sometimes with the Bet Online, it's hit or miss, but I have to try to go to other places. But that's more than likely what I'll be doing for in game. But as far as pre-game, I'm going with that first period, Washington to win combined with Ovechkin to score at least 1 goal.
I like that. Very good. I love the innovation. I love the creativity. And at this time of year, sometimes you got to get creative, and that's a good way to go. Ovechkin to score anytime goal, and Washington to win the first period at that plus price, the SGP that Alex bet at Bet Online. Very good. You know what? I can create something very similar at Bet365, which is my primary SGP book. I might tail that. I might jump on that because I think he's going to be, flying tonight, playing with great emotion, great intensity. I think the first and foremost focus for Alex Ovechkin when he's been away from the team is, being there for his family in a time of grief. But at the same point in time, I think he knows what's going on with the hockey team. He's keeping tabs on what's going on. He knows this team's just in a terrible skid right now. And if they want to make the playoffs, they got to get their ass in gear immediately. And they got to get 2 points in a game like this. You have to. This is a Anaheim team that is just miserable. You got to answer the bell tonight if you're watching. If they lose tonight, Alex, just cancel the season already. Just end it for Washington. You might as well just say, you know what, Pittsburgh, here's your playoff spot. Islanders, any other team that's battling, you guys get the playoff
move
spot.
On through Buffalo, move on through Detroit, get a chance. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, this is good. This is a must get tonight for the Washington Capitals for sure. And if let's say Anaheim wins tonight, crazier things can happen. Yeah, I won't be touching the Capitals for a while. Let's put it that way. This is their spot. Yep. This is their spot. That's why I'm on them tonight. Let's see what they can do with it here in this one. There is one prop I like though for Anaheim: Zegras to get a point. That's the one thing you're still getting out of Anaheim, even when they get crushed. They still find a way to score a goal or two, and usually Trevor Zegras factors in on the goal. And it's it's only minus 130 for him to get a point. So it's a reasonable price. But yeah, a lot of Washington prop. Tom Wilson, I like his props again. I mentioned Tom Wilson to score a goal and get a point against Detroit. He scored their only goal against the Red Wings. I think Tom Wilson's a good prop look again. They've been putting him up on the top line. It looks like tonight Peter Laviolette in Ovi's return has got Ovechkin on the top line with Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson still on that line. So Tom Wilson goal, Tom Wilson point. Back to big old Tommy boy here tonight for the Washington Capitals to get a goal plus 260, to get an assist plus. Where's his point prop? God damn it! I don't see it listed. Nobody's posted points props here for Tom Wilson. They had it the other night. It's crazy across the board. Nobody's got Tom Wilson point prop.
But they have his goals and assists.
They've got goals and assists, no points. It's the craziest damn thing.
Let's see. I'm looking at. I'm on
Bet365 doesn't even have him for points. Yeah. By the way,
I got even money for 1 point at Bet Online. So,
they for Wilson?
Yeah. Tom Wilson get 1 point even money.
There is a book that does have it. I'm on that. I'll find my Bet Online account. I don't use it as much as some others, but I'll log in just to bet that. No question. Tom Wilson to get a point, to get a goal. I think Ovechkin over 1.5 points. It's plus 140 or so for Ovechkin to get over 1.5 points. I think he's playing with great emotion tonight. Great, just great focus. I think he takes the the emotion and just the sadness of everything that's happened for him, and he puts it in a hell of a game tonight on the ice. That's what I think is going to end up happening. We'll see. But there we go. That is the first half of the Thursday card. We thank everybody for joining us. Hit the like button. 232 live viewers on YouTube.
Definitely hit the like button very much.
Yes. Yep.
And Ian, I have a question for you about a prop combo that I was actually able to make while we were on the air, and we can tease it and bring it to you after this commercial break.
We will. All right. There you go. SGP prop option that we're going to get my input on now that I've become a prop expert all of a sudden. Well, I don't know about that, but it's been pretty good since I've been really diving into them since the Super Bowl. But more of that coming up right after we hear from Gramco.
All right. Whether you or your team's game is on the field, screen, racetrack, or the ice, Gramco is for the game. Grown by farmers who spent years developing premium hemp genetics, Gramco provides customers with consistent quality Delta 8 products ready for any occasion. Gramco currently offers numerous Delta 8 products such as vape cartridges, disposable vapes, pre-rolls, gummies, wake and bake coffee, and more. Gramco offers an enjoyable legal high delivered discreetly and directly to you, and is also available at many American retailers as well. Get the best Delta 8 cannabis products on the market shipped quickly and discreetly from Gramco. If you visit www.thegramco.com, use promo code Ice Guys, you get 25% off of any order, and all orders on the site that are $50 and higher are shipped free with standard shipping. So live elevated with Gramco and check out their wonderful Delta 8 products today.
All right, we're back here on the Ice Guys. All right, Alex, what was piquing your interest with the parlay prop?
You were talking about Dawson Mercer to score a goal, and I thought that was a pretty interesting prop. And I was able to combine that with his over points in a same game parlay I bet online. Is that something that you've done before to maybe use to boost a goal prop? So maybe you like them to score a goal, but if you can combine it with them to get over a half a point and just boost the price. Have you done that before? Is that something you consider?
Yeah, I have done that before. Not a ton, but I've done that before on rare occasions. And yeah, you could either bet goal and point prop separately. Now, if he gets the goal, there's the point right there as well. So that's the great thing. Whereas if you get the assist, you're still going to need the goal. So
right, and that's the thing. It's not necessarily. I don't look at it as a parlay. It's more as I look at it as a slight bet boost to your goal prop.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something I've done before with a couple of players, especially the ones like a Connor McDavid, for instance, or a Matthews, when you don't want to just take the goal prop by itself. You want to boost it with throw the points in there as well. Absolutely, you'll get a better price, and it's worth it for those higher prices. So yeah, it's a good methodology to use to sweeten the pot a little bit, if you will, no doubt. All right, next up, we've got the New York Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings. Rangers minus 150 road favorites, 6.5 the total in this one. A fascinating game. Be a fascinating game because you've got the New York Rangers, certainly, I would think going to play well tonight. They've got them coming off the performance they had against Winnipeg on Sunday. It was Monday night, 4-1, where Connor Hellebuck was just, absolutely sensational, 51 shots. It's not like the Rangers played terribly, but they just ran into Connor Hellebuck, who was a brick wall on Monday night. So they'll be looking to bounce back. That's now 2 losses in a row for the Rangers after that incredible streak where they had won 7 in a row, undefeated, since the All-Star break, but now they've lost 2 in a row since then. And they now play this red-hot Detroit team. What a road trip for the Detroit Red Wings. Other than the 4-2 loss at Seattle, they sweep Western Canada, beating Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. They beat Washington 3-1 in a game where their captain and best player, who's been red hot lately, Dylan Larkin, gets the game misconduct, and all they do is dig down deep, and they still find a way to win that game without him. But man, this is a tough spot, really is, for Detroit. I mean, after all that travel out on the West, sweeping Western Canada, you go to Seattle, you fly all the way back to the East Coast, the Eastern time zone, with that 1-game stopover in Washington, and now you return back home after that. This definitely is a tricky spot. It's so tricky. I'm not on Detroit, but it's also not exactly a price that's necessarily for me the value I want with the Rangers. So I'm thinking that we're going to see goals tonight here with the Rangers and Red Wings, simply because the Rangers have been really kind of an over machine, really, since they got Tarasenko, since they've had the much greater depth in their offensive lineup. I could see that here going into this game. One thing I do want to caution you, too, about laying this price with the Rangers, it's not just Detroit's playing well right now. Detroit suffered an embarrassing loss in this building to the Rangers way back in November, 8-2. The Rangers came into Little Caesars Arena here, and they absolutely dummied the Red Wings. I'm sure that's going to be brought up. Someone in the, Helene St. James or whoever the fuck else covers the Red Wings, or someone is going to ask Larkin and some of the players, last time they were in here, guys, they beat you 8-2. I mean, certainly, how do you make your adjustments from that? I mean, the Red Wings players will recall what happened that night, 8-2 loss here at home against the Rangers. So I think that's going to instill some serious focus for them tonight, but I just don't know if the legs are going to be there. When you do all that travel, you play the one game in Washington, coming back from the West in the East, and now you're back home. That's really tough. It's really, really difficult. Seattle did that against where they were out on the East. They've had the stopover in Winnipeg, and then they went home against Tampa Bay, and they didn't have their legs that day. So I worry about that with Detroit tonight. I'm off the side entirely. I'm looking at the total more than anything here. And it's already gone up. It was 6. It's gone up to 6.5. I got over 6 minus 120. It's gone up to 6.5. I would still take it, though, at 6.5. I think you'll see offense here enough from both sides. Yaroslav Halak in net for the Rangers tonight, who's actually been better lately, but still no Shesterkin, obviously. We expect Ville Husso for the Red Wings, but not confirmed as of yet. By the way, Robbie Fabry's a game-time decision. He blocked a shot against Washington, shaken up after that, and may not go tonight, but we'll see more about that closer to puck drop. I have a lot of props to talk about for this game as well, but we'll go to Alex first. Rangers, Red Wings.
Yeah, I like this over, but I'm going to grab it live. I want to get this down to a 5.5. I'll lay anything 120 or better. If I can get plus that money, that'd be good. But definitely want to get the better of the number. And I also lean with the draw a little bit. It's not my strongest draw play on the board, but it's definitely one I can definitely see being a 3-3 or a 4-4 kind of game. I definitely think we see offense, and I think this could go past 60. We've seen the Rangers 2 of their last 3 games go past regulation. Detroit, they just want to get points and stay afloat in that wild card race. So definitely screams like a game that could go into OT. Both teams definitely really needing at least 1 point.
Yeah, no question about that. So definitely, and props, yes. I mentioned that the prop market was appealing to me in this game, and that is most certainly the case. Dylan Larkin, of course, was not suspended, thankfully. I mean, he shouldn't have even been thrown out of the game. I thought it was a little harsh, a little rough to be that harsh on him with that. But a little price, you got to lay some juice, but I think he absolutely gets a point. It's minus 150. Like I say, it's right at the cutoff point of what I will lay. But minus 150 to get a point is, to me, it's almost assuredly going to happen for Larkin. He's been red hot. 8 of the last 10, he's had a point. I think he wants to make amends, too, for getting kicked out of that game and play even better. 8 of the last 10, he's gone over his shots on goal prop, over 2.5. That's a good bet. You got Kreider and Hedl for the Rangers, 7 of the last 10 with a point. Panarin, 7 of the last 10 with a point for the New York Rangers. I think you're probably going to have to parlay up Panarin and Kreider, because they're laying north of minus 200 to get a point. So you want to put those in an SGP if you're going to bet them. You don't want to bet them single. Actually, Kreider's point prop's not that terrible. It's minus 135. So you can actually go straight with Kreider's point prop. Hedl, like I said, 7 of the last 10, he's gotten a point, and it's only even money for him. So not bad options there. Tyler Bertuzzi, I've picked up on him, in terms of his shots numbers going up of late, 3, 2, 2, 3 in the last 4 games. His point prop is worth a look. He's got 5 points in the last 3 games, 4 assists in the last 3 games. So anything Bertuzzi, I think, is actually worth a look. We were waiting for him to get his confidence back. Plus 305 to score a goal, minus 120 to get a point, plus 150 to get an assist for Tyler Bertuzzi. And he is rolling in the goals, assists, and points in the last few games for the Detroit Red Wings. So Tyler Bertuzzi props definitely on the radar for me. Talked about Larkin. Pius Suter. I've mentioned all of a sudden this guy has crawled out of the woodwork lately for the Detroit Red Wings, and he has started to find his offensive form once again for the Red Wings. He is plus 630 at CoolBet, plus 590 at FanDuel to score for the Red Wings tonight. And I mentioned Suter because, look, all of a sudden, I think it's been, most of his recent games where he has been able to find the back of the net with success for the Detroit Red Wings. And Derek Lalonde, still has him down the lineup, but that hasn't affected his ability to produce. 4 goals in the last 3 games. And a goal in each of the last 3. In fact, goals in 4 of the last 5 games for Suter for the Red Wings. So you're talking about a guy with 4 of the last 5. He's found the back of the net, and you can get plus 650, plus 600, with his goal prop in some instances. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, if you ask me there. So some good options here as far as this game goes with the shots on goal and with the goals, assists, and points market. For this one tonight. Let me see what else. There's one more that I might have failed to omit. Like I say, it's a really good prop game. Let me just see here. Trocheck, actually. Trocheck had one of his better games the other night against, I believe it was Winnipeg. They didn't win, but I thought he was very noticeable. He was shooting the puck more. He's now gone over his shots on goal, Trocheck, in 3 straight games. Entering tonight for the Rangers, and his shots props only over 2.5, minus 125. So not bad option there as well for Trocheck, who I think now that he's playing with a line that I think he's got a little bit more offensive thrust from that line. Now that it's aligned with Tarasenko on it and Panarin, I think it's made Trocheck better and more willing to shoot the puck. So Trocheck over shots worth a look too. All right, now we can move on finally. Vancouver and St. Louis. We got the Blues minus 120, home favorites, 7 the total. I'm not going to be dismayed by Vancouver losing against Nashville. The effort was great, and I like the fight in this hockey team. They were down 4-2. They could have packed it in. They didn't. Battled right till the end. They got the 2 late goals, tied the game. Thrilling fashion. If you were on the BetCast with us Tuesday night, how much fucking fun was that? We jumped in on the draw going into the 3rd period, and Vancouver rescues it for us in the final couple minutes to force overtime. Unfortunately, they lost in a shootout to Nashville. But no, I like the fight in this Canucks team. There's no doubt they're playing hard. Okay, that's not the issue. The issue is they can't keep the puck out of their own net. That still is a problem for them. It continues to be an issue. 5 goals to Nashville. They did beat Philadelphia 6-2. That was one of their very rare good defensive showings lately. But before that, they give up 5 to Detroit, 6 to Detroit, 5 to the Islanders, 6 to the Rangers. They're still a work in progress with that defense. But I want no part of St. Louis. No way. I'm on Vancouver here, plus 100. I'm on Vancouver here, win or lose. I'm seeing them play hard. I'm seeing them play with effort. I'm seeing them play with when they get down in a game, they don't quit. They keep battling. They try to get back into the game. And the Blues are not doing that right now. The Blues, when they fall behind, it's sayonara, good night, nurse. We're done. We're out of here. We check out. And that is a big issue right now for the St. Louis Blues. And again, they're peddling more of their players at the deadline. Who knows who's going to survive beyond the deadline for the Blues moving forward. Torrey Krug is out. And by the way, that means Justin Falk. Just keep betting his overshots. Justin Falk overshots just keeps on cashing right now for the St. Louis Blues. And now with Krug out again, he's got to be more of that willing shooter from the blue line now, especially manning the power play. So definitely, I think it's a good prop game for Falk. Falk has gone over 2.5 shots for the Blues now in 6 of the last 7 games. I think it's a pretty good chance that he goes over that shots on goal prop tonight, especially now with Torrey Krug out. It's a good prop look here, in my opinion, tonight. JT Miller for Vancouver. This guy's been shooting the puck a shit ton. 6 straight games he's gone over 2.5 shots on goal. JT Miller for the Vancouver Canucks. A great prop look tonight, in my opinion, here for them in this game tonight. No question about that. Definitely some good props here. Nashville, Yossi's shooting the puck a lot now from the blue line too. Roman Yossi. What am I thinking? Nashville's later against San Jose. But no, JT Miller has gone over shots on goal 6 straight for the Canucks. I like that quite a bit for sure. Let me just see what else there is. Beauvillier, talk about him consistently. He's now gone 3 straight games with a point. Kuzmenko, 3 straight games with a goal. Pettersson, 3 straight games with an assist. All good prop options. Beauvillier points and goal prop. Kuzmenko goal prop and even point prop on Kuzmenko as well. I think very good options for props on the Vancouver side tonight as well. And yeah, that's about it. There we go. But a good prop game. I like Vancouver. I like the over. I'll be on the Canucks over again, but I'm going to try to wait for a 6.5. And I say try, Alex, because these Vancouver games, you're holding your hearts in your throat, hoping you can get through 5 fucking minutes to start the game without a goal. I mean, it's not easy to ask for that with Vancouver, but I'm going to try and look for a 6.5 and wait for a few minutes. What do you think here, Alex? Canucks Blues?
Yeah, I'll be trying to rate right there with you, but not on the full game over, on the first period over. I want to get 140 at 1.5. That's the striking point I've set for here. That's the thing with a 7. You can't be greedy, trying to look for a plus money to come down. You got to, like I said, we got to go with the 6.5. We got to go with the 1.5 and lay a little bit of juice. It's still better than going with a 2, laying $1.05 or trying to wrestle with a 7. So that's the way I'm going to attack this. I don't want anything to do with the side here. Vancouver, yeah, they're playing with a little bit more energy. I can't back St. Louis at all. Yeah, I can definitely see where Vancouver wins this game, but I think it'll be at least some goals early here, and then we'll see things kind of settle out. So maybe there'll be enough time to get something on Vancouver Live again.
Yeah, you're right. Christian in our chat there, Sorensen there with Canucks goal in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. You're right about that. There's no.
And I remember seeing. I know Chris Otto and a couple other people were chatting about it with BetMGM because they have that 9-minute mark. It's not necessarily the 10-minute. It's like 8:59 is where they have the cutoff. And I think Vancouver's something crazy like 26-2 with that range. So yeah, they've definitely been getting the goals early. So this has been a tougher team to jump in with live totals betting, be it first period or full game.
You could go alternative total. If you don't have the patience or you don't have the faith that these teams can play scoreless hockey for 5 minutes at the start of the game, Rich makes a good point. You could always bet over 7.5 plus 145. Have the faith we get 8 goals. I mean, very possible we see 8 goals in this game. How many times have we seen 8 goals with Vancouver games for the last 2 months? That's what it feels like. It feels like it's been 2 solid months of Vancouver games having at least 8 goals. Just looking in their last 10, they have had a few 7s. It was 6-1 with Seattle, 5-2 with Columbus, 4-3 with the Rangers, 5-2 with Detroit, 6-1 with Detroit. But they have had some games over 7 with 8+. New Jersey was 5-4, Islanders was 6-5, Rangers 6-4, Vancouver 6-2, Nashville 5-4. So there's still a very good chance, to see this game get to 8+. So if you like that over 7.5 plus 145, I wouldn't necessarily say no to that. All right, Flames and Golden Knights. We've got Vegas minus 135 home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Calgary, they avoided disaster. That's the best way to put it last night against Arizona. They clearly deserved the win. I mean, they were all over Arizona for 60 minutes, essentially. And it seemed like every one shot or one chance the Coyotes had ended up going in. But the floodgates eventually opened for the Calgary Flames last night, and they ended up piling up the goals and winning 6-3 against the Calgary Flames. Now, is Calgary going to actually use this as legit momentum to get on a run, or are they going to do the same old shit that they've done repeatedly? They win a game and can't follow it up. Because this team has not had a longer win streak than 2 since December, since early December. Their longest win streak has been 2, which is just speaks to how maddeningly inconsistent they've been. They beat Columbus January 23rd, lost the next game to Chicago. Beat Seattle January 27th, lost the next game to the Rangers. Beat Buffalo 7-2, lost the next game to Ottawa. Beat the Rangers 3-2 in overtime. They lost the next game to Philadelphia. So, again, they've had issues. And we know we're going to be looking at probably Jacob Markstrom in net on the back-to-back after it was Dan Vladar last night. So, I don't want Calgary. I don't trust Calgary to win 2 in a row. I've got to see it. All right. I've got to see it. On the Vegas side, they've got some injuries right now. Obviously, Stone's out long-term. Aiden Hill is out, which means Hill and Thompson, their top 2 goalies, both out, which means it's Laurent Brossoit time once again in net tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights. He'll get a second straight start for Vegas. And now Nicholas Waugh, who has been a very key depth, third, fourth line center for them this year. Lower body injury, won't play tonight. His game's been very good. He was coming into this game with points in 4 of the last 5 games for the Vegas Golden Knights. So don't sleep on the absence of Nick Waugh for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's been playing some really good hockey of late. So with the injuries and with Vegas, you look at their recent results. They've been playing better since the break, no question, but a lot of tight games, for the most part. They pummeled Nashville and Minnesota out of the break and Anaheim, but the last few games have been pretty tight. 2-1 Vegas, 5-4 Vegas over Tampa, 2-1 over San Jose, 3-2 they lose in the shootout to Chicago the other night. They played a lot of tight hockey. Maybe the draw. This is the game where a draw kind of appeals to me a little bit. I could see this one being pretty competitive, pretty close. Calgary, will do their thing, probably outshoot Vegas, but have a hard time finishing and let Vegas hang around. That's been their MO. And we end up having a tight game, a competitive game, a close game that maybe has a chance to go beyond regulation. So I have nothing on the side, not really much on the total. I think it could be over, could be under. I could see it going either way with that. I lean over, but it's not something I'm super strong on. But I might sprinkle on this draw. Again, you can get it at plus 348 right now, the draw at Pinnacle. What do you think here, Alex? Flames, Golden Knights.
Yeah, I can make a case for the draw here with these two teams. And like I said, with Brossoit, and that's something that's a bit concerning. And Calgary's been really pissing me off these last two games, not getting to the first period over. They should have easily have cashed it against Philly. I really shouldn't have had much issue
last night. Was ridiculous.
Last night, I mean, you score 9 goals. You would just, if you hear a game in 6-3, you just assume there's at least 2 goals in the first period, and especially when the teams out shooting their opponent 18-3 in that first period. So it's just been really rough. But I probably will jump in with that in game. I'm not going to lay $1.50, especially after losing quite a few units on that already this week. So gonna try and grab that at something around minus $1.20 or better. But I also will sprinkle a little bit on that draw. I see him plus 345 right now. I definitely can see this one being a little bit tighter. And like I said, these two teams, division opponents, both needing points in the standings, don't want to concede anything if it's tied and it's close late in the contest.
Yeah, no question about that. You're right. Vegas has been, at home for some reason this year. I can't figure out why, but they have not been that same dominant team at T-Mobile. Just 17-13 they are at home. So we'll see if that trend continues here tonight in this one. But the one thing, if you like Calgary and you don't fully trust them to win, and you don't know what you're going to get from Markstrom, don't go team total. Team total is only 2.5. For the Calgary Flames. You got to lay about $1.50, but that's probably better if you like Calgary, is team total over 2.5 rather than anything. I'm running back a lot of the props I had last night on Calgary, especially the shots on goal props, because the one thing about this game is that this isn't Arizona's Civ defense. Vegas does have a better defense. There's no question about that. So will the goals actually go in? But Backlund point is still worth a look. He's been red hot for the Calgary Flames. Backlund over shots on goal, Toffoli over shots on goal. The same shot prop players we've been taking repeatedly with Calgary. We're going right back to the well with them here tonight in this game against Vegas. They've just been automatic going over the shots on goal props. Let me bring up the numbers specifically. Backlund, by the way, has a point in 4 straight games for the Calgary Flames, and he's been all over the puck, all over the front of the net lately. For them. Backlund to get a point's only minus 125 tonight, so it's a great price for someone that's gotten a point in 4 straight. On the back end for the Golden Knights, Shea Theodore, he has a point in 4 straight games. He's only minus 120 to get a point. I think that's a good play in this game tonight, Theodore to get a point. Theodore to get an assist is plus 110, 4 straight games with an assist for Shea Theodore. So there's some really good point props, assist props there. Backlund, Theodore for their respective teams. Mangiapane's on a 3-game point streak for the Calgary Flames. Let me see what his point prop is tonight. But and he was all over the ice last night. Yeah, it's only plus 100. I could go for that in that one. Backlund, 3 straight games with a goal. So the goal scorer prop worth a look. Marchessault, over shots on goal. He's been shooting the puck a lot lately. And I think with some of the injuries, he figures I got to get my offense. I've got to look for it. With everybody that's out, over shots on goal, over 2.5, minus 145 for Jonathan Marchessault for the Golden Knights tonight, I think is probably a good bet as well. So this is another game where there's some good shots on goal prop options, some good goal, point, and assist player prop options. So make sure you shop around, but definitely some good looks here tonight in this game. You really want to go down the list too on Calgary. Jacob Pelletier Sprinkle on him to get a goal, plus 370s, a really talented kid. He scored a great deflection goal last night. And if you can find him out there, he just got called up and he was in the lineup last night. We'll see on the back-to-back if Daryl Sutter puts him in there. But I couldn't help but notice, and the broadcast team, the great Rick Ball, who, as you'll see on our local rankings, I love, he's terrific. They mentioned it on the Calgary broadcast last night that Walker Duehr was all over the ice. I mean, he's only playing on the fourth line with Lucic and Trevor Lewis, but my goodness, he had 2 points. He had a goal. He had 4 shots on goal. He was all over the place. So anywhere that you can find Walker Duehr props right now for the Calgary Flames tonight, he was just noticeable. He's a big body. He was, putting people on their can, physical brand of hockey, going to the net, made things happen, got the team going. Walker Duehr really impressed me. Great impression he made last night in that game against the Arizona Coyotes. We'll see if he can bring that here tonight. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, no, I didn't have anything to add to this.
Oh, okay. There you go. I thought you were about to say something. All right, all good then. We'll move on. Boston and Seattle. We've got Boston minus 180, road favorites here in the Emerald City. Total here at 6 across the board. I'm not Mr. Under, but man, if there's ever a game I'd take under tonight, it would be this game, Boston and Seattle, because I don't know, 6 with Boston right now, the way they typically play. They're just a really, really sound defensive team. And they've been definitely trending under the total. Only 5-2 to the under their last 7 games for the entire season. They are 28-23 to the under. Seattle's 29-23 to the under. I think the Kraken offensively, they got shut out by San Jose. I'm still mystified. Seattle got shut out by San Jose the other night in that game. And I'm sure they're going to want to play better, but I've got a sneaking suspicion Boston's going to win tonight. And I like the Bruins in regulation here. I think Boston's going to remember that they haven't lost many games at home this year, but do you know who did beat them at home this year? Seattle Kraken. Remember, they were in that awful spot off the long road trip, came back home against Seattle, and the Kraken kind of jumped on them in that game and got the victory. I think Boston, payback, exactly. I think Boston, they'll know Seattle beat them at the TD Garden earlier this year. So I think they bring a little something. And you're starting a road trip. You want to start it on a good note. They've won 4 in a row. They're just continuing to play very good hockey. I think, and again, we talk about Seattle, where they've been a better road team than at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle this season. They've just been better on the road for the most part. So I think for this one, for me, Bruins in regulation, I'm going to get on that. And you can find that Bruins in regulation price right now. A pretty good price, actually, if you want that, right around minus 110 to minus 120. Pretty good price there for Bruins to win in 60 minutes. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Bruins, Kraken.
I'm going to add that on. I actually had Bruins first period puck line. I got laying the half to go at plus 150 this morning, but I'm definitely going to add that on now. I'm seeing $1.10 for Boston in regulation. I mean, this is like you said, Boston hasn't lost too many games, and you remember, I remember, they remember, Pepperidge Farm remembers which teams that were able to beat them, and I think they're going to have their revenge mode in full swing tonight. And Seattle is just a team. I mean, God, they're so maddening too, because they seem to have the offense going, and then they don't have any defense, and then they get good goaltending, and then the offense isn't there. So, like you said, the under does make sense, but also at the same time, I just feel like Boston, in that, exacting revenge mode, if they're seeing red, they could kind of name their score, especially if it's Martin Jones and that, and he's been, a bit shaky. But just any goaltender right now, just Seattle, they're just the true Jekyll and Hyde team right now, and it's just been hard to kind of get a grasp on them. But it's easy to back Boston these days, so we're going regulation and we're going first period puck line.
All right, Boston in regulation and first period puck line, which is for Boston here. You can get that at minus a half. You can get plus 155 or so with that Boston puck line in the first period. So you get, really good price on that when it's all said and done. And again, even the Bruins, like I said, in regulation, the price on that, is pretty solid as well for this game tonight against the Seattle Kraken. Let me just verify that. Yeah. So, there we go. We've got Boston in regulation at, it's actually down to minus 105 in some spots with Bruins in regulation. So, again, really good price on that. As far as props go for this game, not as much into the props for this game as some of the others because, I expect probably goals to maybe be a little bit more at a premium here in this game. We do have some streaks to be aware of here. Jake DeBrusk, by the way, I think he's the guy for Boston. Heating up again. He has scored a goal in 3 straight games, over 2.5 shots on goal in 3 straight games as well for Jake DeBrusk. Starting to regain some of that comp. Remember, the guy was out for a while, I think, due to injury. So I think he just needed some time to get his rhythm, get his timing back, like any player would, when they've been out for such a long period of time. And I think you're seeing Jake DeBrusk get that rhythm and timing back. So plus 185 or so to score a goal, minus 135 to get a point in this game, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 120. Probably worth a lot. Yeah, Ryan Donato, former team. Yeah, that former team angle. Yeah, I don't mind that there. Because remember, he's with the Kraken now, used to be a member of the Boston Bruins. So if you believe in that angle, hey, he's plus 630 at some places to score a goal tonight, plus 610 at FanDuel. So if you want to take that shot, Ryan Donato, Donato's Pizza, as I like to call him, to score a goal tonight, you can definitely take a shot with that. He's been pretty quiet lately. He had a nice little run going several weeks ago, but hasn't been nearly as effective lately. But that's definitely an angle that makes some sense to me. You always get a good effort out of somebody when they're playing their former team. Should see that from Donato tonight. So those are the main problems. Mostly Jake DeBrusk props over shots. Oh, Zacha as well for Boston. I'm always interested. Pavel Zacha goal, Pavel Zacha point, because he's just not priced like Pasternak is, like Krejci is, like Marchand, like Bergeron. He's not the same price point with his props as those other players. He's undervalued compared to them. So plus 340 to score a goal, plus 115 to get a point for Zacha tonight, which is terrific value. Zacha's been really good. Let me bring up Zacha's recent game log just to verify that he's been a very good point producer for them lately. Let me just see. Yeah, the Ottawa game, he was held off the score sheet, but the last 6 games overall, he's got 5 points and 4 goals for the Boston Bruins. So I still think Pavel Zacha, good value prop tonight for the Bruins. All right, final game of this massive Thursday card. Nashville Predators, San Jose Sharks. Do you know the way to San Jose? Nashville minus 120, road favorites, 6 the total in this game. That's a little emblem and a little just building it up, little spoiler alert there, that I am on the home team in this game. The San Jose Sharks at plus 1. It's actually down to plus 1. I can't be alone. And people thinking Nashville stinks right now, because this actually opened minus 130 to minus 135. And now it's down to minus 120. Nashville is just not a team I think is playing really well at all. Forsberg being out has hurt this team. They're very lucky that they, played a Vancouver team that can't stop anybody. But Forsberg, upper body injury out, and that was a rough injury. We noticed it on the BetCast. Alex was the one that really first noticed it on the BetCast in that Vancouver-Nashville game, that Ryan Johansson had was needing assistance to get off the ice there. And now we find out it's a leg injury. And now he's going to have to miss at least the next 3 months. And he underwent surgery for that leg injury as well. So Johansson now being out, and you've got Forsberg still missing in action for the Nashville Predators. And again, they're just not playing good hockey, at all. Defensively, they've fallen off. Offensively, they've had a couple games where they've picked it up, Vancouver and Florida. But before that, they had been struggling to score goals mightily. There's no question. And I just don't like the overall form. And don't look now, but UC Saros, who we don't know if he's going to start tonight, but we think he will, he hasn't played as well lately for the Nashville Predators. He's been giving up more goals. He gave up 4 to Vancouver, 4 to Minnesota, 5 to Boston, 4 goals to Vegas, 4 goals to New Jersey. I mean, that is not great. He's given up 4 more goals, UC Saros, 5 of his last 6 starts. The only game he did not was the win against Philadelphia right after the All-Star break. So UC Saros' form has declined. And without UC Saros playing well, you see what impact it has on the Nashville Predators. It just makes it a lot harder for them to win games. And then you contrast that, Alex, to San Jose, and they shut out Seattle 4-0. Impressive win. Shutout for James Reimer, who's going to be in net tonight again for the Sharks, and he's earned it, after that shutout win. He played well against Seattle. They hung tough with Buffalo, close loss. Vegas, that game was 20 seconds from overtime when Vegas got the game-winning goal. Pittsburgh needed an empty net goal to beat them. They had the win against Washington. The game with Florida was competitive. They beat Tampa and Pittsburgh. This team's been in every single game. The compete level's been there. And it looks like tonight, from an injury standpoint for the San Jose Sharks, Tomas Hertl is going to be back tonight for the San Jose Sharks. Although Timo Meier, we were hoping he'd be back with the upper body injury he's dealing with, but he is still out. He will not return tonight for San Jose. So still day-to-day with that upper body injury. But they will have Hertl back in the lineup tonight. I like San Jose here. Slight home underdog, San Jose Sharks for me. Alex, what do you think here? Preds, Sharks.
Yeah, I doubt we see Timo Meier in San Jose Sharks uniform again at this point, honestly. But I'm going with the over 6.
I think it's half upper body injury, half holdout because he's going to get dealt.
Is. Yeah. I think it's something very minor that if he was sticking around, he could play through, but they're just holding him out for it. So with that being said, I like the over 6, laying $1.10. Like I said, UC Saros has been in poor form. San Jose has been playing some decent hockey. I just still haven't been able to bring myself to back them in a side perspective, especially Reimer at home. He did get the win last time, but can he string those together? That's been hard to find. So I like the over 6 here. That's the only thing I'm looking at.
All right, like an over 6 here with the Predators and the Sharks. Yeah, I mean that's the great wild card here for people like me on San Jose. Is James Reimer going to duplicate what he did against Seattle? Sometimes you don't get that consistency one start to the next one for James Reimer, which is why he's been a backup in this league for the last couple of years. All right, as far as player props go in this game, this is Roman Josi over shots on goal. I got a little carried away earlier talking about it in the Vancouver-St. Louis game like a numbnuts, but now we can talk about Roman Josi over 3.5 shots on goal. I like that. He's been trending that way for the Predators of late, shooting the puck a lot more. It's a good player prop, shot prop, in my opinion, tonight for them in this hockey game. What else have we got here in terms of trending players? But yeah, Josi over 3.5. What else have we got? To get an assist, Logan Couture to get a point, Carlson to get an assist. They've both been trending 7 of the last 10. They have cashed in that regard. Keep an eye on that. And also, let me just see here. Yeah, Logan Couture with a point in 3 straight. Josi with a point in 3 straight. Roman Josi, like I said, 7 of the last 10, he's gone over 3.5 shots. 3 straight games, he's gone over 3.5 shots as well. Roman Josi has also been factoring in the offense for them. Like he has been in on almost everything they've done offensively of late. And he's only minus 115 to get an assist. That's a crazy price. I mean, obviously to lay with the point prop, it's minus 190, so that's a little expensive. But to get an assist, he's only minus 115. And Roman Josi has an assist in 3 straight games for the Nashville Predators entering tonight, and 7 of the last 10. So the assist prop for Roman Josi makes a lot of sense. And then on San Jose, I'm just going to see if they stay together on that top line. But we talked about this in the Seattle game on Monday, that San Jose, with the injury to Meier and the absence of Hertl, had to shake things up. And it looks like tonight they are going to keep that top line intact. So even though Hertl's back, he's going to play with Gregor and Martin Kaut on the second line tonight for San Jose. And then on the top line, they're keeping Logan Couture centering the top line with Mikey Eyssimont and Alexander Barabanov. And Eyssimont and Barabanov are go-to props for me right now. Barabanov's been excellent. He's been terrific on the top line for San Jose. He's been consistently making an impact offensively. You look at the recent games, he's on a great run. You go back to his last 8 games, and Alexander Barabanov has 9 points for the San Jose Sharks in his last 8 games, and he has 5 goals during that span. So Barabanov is a terrific prop option for San Jose. And then Eyssimont, who's now on the top line with Couture and Barabanov, he scored the other night against Seattle late in the game, and I cashed a plus 650 to score a goal on Eyssimont. I mentioned it on Monday's show. Sprinkle on the goal prop with him. And he's plus 340 tonight, so they've definitely made an adjustment, a sharp adjustment, plus 650 all the way down to plus 340. But there's still value there for Eyssimont playing on that top line to find the back of the net. He got the goal against Seattle. He's going to get that opportunity now, and I think you can definitely look in that direction with his goal prop as well tonight for the San Jose Sharks in this one. I think there was one more, too, that I wanted to mention that he's starting to percolate a little bit offensively for the San Jose Sharks the last couple of games as well. Someone you might want to keep an eye on going into this game tonight. I believe it's Noah Gregor. Yeah, Noah Gregor got a goal the other night against Seattle. And since he's been on the second line, he's had 7 shots in the last 2 games. So Noah Gregor, there's another one you could sprinkle on as well for San Jose tonight in this game. All right, there you go. That's the Thursday card. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We got best bets to wrap things up. Reminder, patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 a month. Goalie charts, totals charts, power ratings, daily Ice Guys show betting card. Video content, including the local TV broadcaster rankings, which we just posted today. All that and more, patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 a month. And our betcast, our next betcast, it is official. Next Tuesday, another Tuesday night live betcast, Tuesday, February 28th, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us for that. It was a lot of fun this past Tuesday. We had a great finish to the night in terms of our live betting results, and we're back for more this Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be another big Tuesday night slate. There we go. Tuesday, February 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Live betting and commentary. Me, Alex, and all of our guests. Drinking encouraged. DM me at Bobano on Twitter or email bobano350@gmail.com for a spot on the betcast.
Yeah, also just want to make a note, too, to check out the Ice Guys store. We got for the next 5 days, 15% off of everything. So check that out, iceguys.myspriteshop.com. Everything's in stock. So go on to shop and save a little bit with that 15% off coupon. As soon as you go to the main screen, go to iceguys.myspriteshop.com. At the top of the screen, it'll say redeem for the coupon, and it's going to be active for the next 5 days.
There you go. Check that out at the Ice Guys store and get yourself some great merch. All right. Hopefully we've got ourselves some great best bets coming up in just a few moments right after we hear from Manscaped. Support for the Ice Guys is brought to you by Manscaped, our good friends at Manscaped, who are the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, courtesy of the Ice Guys. Get 20% off of any purchase and free worldwide shipping with the promo code Ice Guys. That's promo code Ice Guys, all one word, ICEGUYS at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 400 million balls that you can help preserve with manscaped.com using the promo code Ice Guys. You get the Performance Package 4.0. It is a game changer. The Lawnmower 4.0. It takes care of this, among other things. It'll keep you trim as can be. The Lawnmower 4.0, waterproof. Same thing with the Weed Whacker, which takes care of your ear hair, nose hair. I mean, nose hair in particular. You know, I'm getting up there in age, and nose hair is becoming definitely more of an issue. This will take care of it. It feels like someone's tickling the inside of your nostrils sometimes. It pisses the hell out of me. It bothers me. I need to take care of that shit. This will take care of it for you. The Weed Whacker makes part of the package that you get with your Manscaped purchase and the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. You also get the ball toner. You also get the ball deodorant, keep you smelling good and looking good and feeling good down in the nether regions. This package is really going to make you feel good and look good and look better, slim, trim. That's what it's all about. And manscaped.com can help you out with that. So make sure you take advantage of this. Manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code IceGuys at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the promo code IceGuys. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, we're back here on the Ice Guys, and we are ready for best bets here on this Thursday show. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, let's go with the Boston Bruins first period puck line, laying a half a goal at plus 150. I'm seeing it as high as plus 155, so shop around and get the best of that number. I think Boston, like I said, the revenge mode is going to be in full display here against a Seattle team that's just been slumping right now. I expect Boston to come out hot and heavy early in that first 20 minutes and get out of that period with the lead. So let's go with the Bees. Laying the half a goal plus 150. That's my best bet for tonight.
All right, there it is. Boston Bruins. You can get plus 150, plus 155 with Bruins puck line first period against Seattle for best bet for Alex B. Smith. I do have to mention John Massey with our betcast next Tuesday, mentioning that Chicago, Arizona, Montreal, San Jose is on the late night docket on Tuesday. Woof. I guess that means even John Massey, our late night owl, says this is so shitty of a card. Even I'm not going to show up for this. No, but he did note we also do have Boston and Calgary though. In Calgary on Tuesday night. So that will be a good game. So it's not all bad for the later part of the Tuesday night card for our betcast next week. Hopefully it's not all bad with our best bet here for this show tonight. I like this quite a bit. I was deciding which one do I prefer. I'm going to go with the team total. Got to lay some juice here, minus 155, but Washington Capitals team total over 3.5. Let's go with that. I think it's a really good play. I think they get 4 goals minimum. I think the first period puck line's a good look as well, quite a bit. But I'm going to go with that team total. Nice and simple. Washington comes to play. They rally around Ovechkin. Any Ovechkin props tonight, like I say, to score a goal is a good prop. Over 1.5 points is a good prop. Wilson's a good prop option. I think Washington gets going, at least for one night, against this lousy, horrendous Anaheim team. Washington Capitals team total over 3.5, minus 154. That is going to be my best bet here for this Thursday NHL card. That'll wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll talk to you again tomorrow on Friday. It's a roundtable Friday. Jimmy Murphy joins us. I believe after being in surgery and ailing for a few weeks, Nate Rapensky is going to be back with us tomorrow on the show as well. So a roundtable Friday edition of the Ice Guys coming up tomorrow, presented by National Hockey Now.